What happens when a family's disappointment turns out to be their greatest threat? Meet Emma Harris, dismissed at every family dinner while secretly building a billion-dollar empire. Now she's about to take control of her family's failing business with one simple move they never saw coming. In the corporate world, being underestimated might just be the perfect revenge. Witness how one woman turned family rejection into the ultimate power play.